We're going to turn directions now and have Matt Christensen talk about one of the things that, so when we add new features to Premiere and we make an investment and we spend engineering resources and time, obviously we go, well, what's been done before and how can we make it better? And it's never like, let's just add a me too. That's never what we set out to do. But we also, like we've kind of said, we're very customer led. We like to work with customers to help develop features and make sure that they're useful. We love to build collaboratively with customers rather than invent something in secret and go, here's how you have to work. The feature we're going to show right now may not be new. It may not be the most revolutionary thing you've ever seen, but it's been a long time requested feature in Premiere. So we've done some work to add it. At the point we're at right now, it's going to be fairly similar to what you've seen before. We have a lot of ideas on how to make it better before this actually ships. This is a preview. This is not currently shipping. But I'm going to turn it over to Matt, and he's going to walk through freeform bin layouts.
All right. Thanks, Van. Like Van said, we are running some pretty beta software here, so forgive our dust in this area. It's not quite as polished as it will be when it ships. Some of the names and places of things I click on might change. But basically, I'm going to start, and I'm going to be working mostly just in the project panel. You'll see down here at the bottom, I'm going to work with, start with scene 1 here. Like Van was showing you earlier, traditionally we've had a list view and an icon view. List view is great if you need to see the metadata or get into sort of a database mindset. An icon view is great, you know, if you need to see your frames and sort of think about the picture like that. And what we're adding, we're calling freeform view. So the way freeform view works is, as you might imagine, you can move the clips around however you like. So say that I'm coming in here and my editor loves that Mickey Mouse concept. One thing that Billy didn't mention, though, is if you have 3 cameras, you actually sort of have an alien Mickey Mouse. So give me a second here while I set that up. So I've got a 3-eared mouse. So I'm putting my multicams here on the bottom. And I've got some B-roll also along the bottom there. I'm just going to leave it there in case I need to get to that. So I've got my 3 over here. Right. Sorry, guys. Okay. So ta-da. You're ready to hand this off to your editor, but if you're like me, you're going to spend a little bit of time just kind of playing with the clips to get them just right. So we are adding an align to grid option here to kind of clean it up for you and keep it nice. And then, before you want to send it off to your editor, you might want to make sure that they don't mess it up. So I'm going to save it. Say this is my fail safe. So no matter what I do to change the clips around, I can always reload that layout. So now I'm the editor, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see. Take 1 was terrible. It's garbage. B-roll is also garbage. And this is all I need, right? And here's my scene, and this is how I'm working. And it comes back to you, and you're like, great. Now he's thrown my stuff away. So what you can do is save this as a new layout. You can call it the editor's great idea. And then it's no problem for you to get back to work and say, great, while I'm working on this, I'm just going to jump back to failsafe. And just like that, you're going to have your different layouts, assign it to a keyboard shortcut, etc. Great idea. And then also, if you want to do something totally different, you can just start over. And this is going to be in a different place eventually, but we're going to have a reset to grid to just kind of take you back. And of course, that doesn't throw away your layouts. Those are still there to get back to. So that's sort of just like a quick overview of what you might do with a simple scene. You know, we only have 16 clips here. That's including the multicams. But I wanted to show you guys what it would look like if you got a little more creative. Because like Van said, we really want to make this feature something more interesting and see what it would look like if you went above and beyond a basic scene like that. So some of you that like to work with, loads there, forgive our dust. Some of you guys like to work with, you know, printouts or cards on a board. So we want to take that metaphor into Premiere and see what it looks like, if you can be a little bit more messy and creative. So actually, you can zoom in and out. So you can zoom in and just be working on this one scene. And it supports, dragging out to your timeline, dragging things up to the source. You can do most of the things you could do with your clips, including hover scrub, setting in and out points, renaming, and stuff like that. But also, you could treat this as a larger canvas and just zoom out and have a lot going on. So, what I want to point out here is you'll notice these clips at the bottom are actually kind of larger. So we're going to support the ability to have clips at different size levels independent of your scaling, so that if you want to work kind of zoomed out like this, you can still make some of them large and really get more creative with how you're working with things, not just moving things around into Mickey Mouse ears. So I might be looking at this and say, okay, this is definitely my next shot. Here. So I'm going to make that extra large. And one idea I had is you can actually start a rough cut right here in your bin, right? Maybe you need one of these TV shots. And then, like they showed earlier, you can actually set in and out points on these. And so before you know it, you kind of have your rough. There's nothing stopping you from just taking these, dragging them straight into a sequence. And
You
then
might want larger versions for your wide shots than your twos, and you might want over the shoulders to be smaller because you can see the head there. So it's nice to have that flexibility.
Yeah, totally. So like in this thing, this is a lot of shots going on in the scene here, and I'm like, well, this shot has both of them, and it kind of sums everything up. So I'm going to tell that to be a large one, and then as I'm zoomed out, it's really easy to still tell what was going on in that corner and remind me of what that scene was. And then the last cool feature that is far enough along to show you is we're going to be supporting the concept of a pile. And this pretty rainbow here I have is a pile. And I just made it a rainbow because it's really obvious to show what's going on. But basically, I just line these up, and as long as they're overlapping in any way, we're going to support the ability to park your mouse on it, hold Option, just kind of scroll through them. So you can keep it in a nice organized pile, if it's a lot of the same shots or a lot of things that you don't need to see separately. But if you need to pick one out, oh, I just needed the yellow, got it. Keep working. So we have a couple other ideas in mind, and there's still obviously some polish that needs to go into this, but if you guys have any feedback for this after the session, come let me know. Nikhil is also the developer that's been working on this.
We're still fairly in the clay section, so if you've got ideas, one of the things that we've seen, Alan Bell posted some great feedback and comments. We do support text documents in bin, so we're really trying to again rethink how can we make this better, and it's not for us to come up with that. It's based on your guys' suggestion, and you're helping us, guiding us. So we love your feedback. You know how to reach us. Come get a card, ace@adobe.com. Thank you very much, Matt. It looks awesome. It's coming along really nicely.